You need to start it over so we can have full time.
I mean, how long
Why
we
don't
been
you
on?
start it over so we can have full time?
Zoom meeting 40 minutes. It says we got 40
Okay.
minutes.
That's enough.
That's gotta be, that's in total though. That's in total. I don't know. We'll be okay. Anyway, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, y'all. What it do? Your boy J-Kruz back at it. J-Kruz and friends. I mean, it's just way more fun to do this with people, and I appreciate people who always come on here with me, and just give me their time because it's hard. It's hard to get everybody that I rock with these reviews to get them all on here at the same time, and sometimes we trying to get everybody on keeps us from not doing them as much. So I apologize for the wait. I got the homie Mr. Washington in the building. What's up, Ruben?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Got the homie Ray holding it down. Ray, what up?
What's up?
What's so funny, Ray? Why are you smirking over there?
I'm just
What?
like, oh, nothing's not nothing.
Mr. Troy, what are you doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
You don't look focused. Your eyes are focused. What are you focused on, Troy?
I'm looking at the screen.
It's like the screen's over here or something. I'm confused.
Man, leave my boy Troy alone. All right.
Shout out to the homie Troy in the building. What up, Troy?
What up? What up? What up?
All right, so today's discussion, we got to touch base on Loki. The season is a wrap. We want to talk about Black Widow. And after we get those two out of the way, then we could discuss some other things. But let's kick it off with Loki. My prediction of the show ending with a Loki behind everything was wrong. And it's cool. Now, it's a funny story. I was on the CW that day. The day the day after the show came out, whatever, I was on the CW. Oh, no, the day was dropping that day. I was on the CW. And the actor who playing Kang, we were doing a story on because of the ESPYs or something like that. One of the award shows, he had won some awards. And in the article that I was reading, they talked about him. And, he's doing so much. He even features on the end of the Loki show. And I was like, no!
It spoiled it for you.
Yeah, so me being on the CW, which was cool, because they asked me to be like an anchor for the whole day. Spoiled it for me. So I read that and I kind of knew what was going to happen. So I went into the show knowing that, but it was cool. I think the ending was well done. From what I see, what happened with him, remember when Kang says, what's he called? What's that version of him called? Timekeeper?
He's the one who remains.
The one who remains, right? That version of him is the one who remains. And remember when he's sitting at the desk and he's saying he knows everything that happens up to that point. He was like, oh my God, up to this point, I knew everything that was going to happen, but up to this point, I don't know. They're saying that is the exact same moment when WandaVision opens the hole in the multiverse in her battle with the sorceress, the other sorceress.
Yes.
Which, again, remember how we said that Loki is more important to this universe because of what's going on. And you're right. Winter Soldier, to me, the social impact and the message in that show was more important than Loki as a whole for society. But as the Marvel universe stands, you're right. Loki ended it off with just bringing everything together, opening the door for the multiverse. And now Marvel can just, the multiverse thing just allows them to do whatever they want.
Yes.
Like anything you want is on the table.
Yeah.
Which I and I kind of don't like, because I feel like it's almost.
Well, look what they did with Spider-Man. Spider-Man in the multiverse, they've got like 100 different Spider-Mans. So that's what they're doing with Loki. That's why we're having all the variants and stuff with Loki.
No, I know. And you're going to have in the news, Spider-Man is coming out, right? It's about to come out.
December.
Right. And obviously we've heard the rumors, Tobey Maguire, Garfield, who else? The villains, Michael Keaton, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So the multiverse is going to open up. We're going to see that. And then obviously it can carry on. So it just, I guess that moment when she opens the multiverse, that moment with Kang, and I guess that moment also is going to be in the Spider-Man movie, right? When the multiverse opens, I guess, right?
I mean, I don't know how they're gonna time
Is
it.
it
but-
all like gonna coexist in that?
Well, that's the whole thing. It all does exist and has existed. It's been just getting erased. So
I'm getting
everything,
so confused.
everything. Okay. All right. So what you were talking about when we first, when I, at least I first got on, right? You were talking about you like DC because they get to tell their own story and it doesn't have to be a part of this strategic blueprint.
That was our previous.
And-
that's in the
right.
DC. That's coming. The DC
Right.
discussion we had. That's coming out. I said that Marvel can't surprise me in some ways because the tone of the movies are all the
Right.
same. They're all connected, and you can't go too far on
Right.
either end. You know, you got to stick. But with DC, they've had so many mess ups where they can like kind of do whatever they want and start new
Yeah,
universes.
DC's
And
got
new,
So now they're at the same points at different ends of those spectrums, right? Because DC can do whatever because nobody expects any type of structure. Marvel
don't
can
push
They're
it. Don't
garbage.
hold on.
push it.
Marvel,
They're garbage.
Marvel can do
Hold
whatever
on,
now.
please pause that. Troy, you've been on 2 episodes and you're not just gonna be on here talking about DC garbage.
Just their film,
Their cartoons are dope. Their cartoons are
Right.
dope.
the comics is dope. The story is dope.
Did y'all
Yeah.
hear about the reviews that Suicide Squad 2 is getting already? 100% on Rotten Tomato.
Great.
Oh.
reviews. It's getting
hear about
great
that?
reviews.
That's great.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, who
Like,
cares about
who
Suicide Squad?
cares, bro? Like
Talk
that's
about
great. Who cares, bro? Like, so
bro,
okay. So this is my point, right? Marvel can now do whatever it wants to do because now they can just go tuck it off in some other universe. So if you don't like the story, great.
Yeah,
we'll
true,
blow it
right,
up. If
right.
you love the
Get rid
story,
of it. Right.
if
Keep
you
it.
love the story and if you want to just keep it contained, you
Continue
can
it. You can.
because it's a whole multiverse of probabilities and worlds anyway. So this is exactly like you're getting exactly what you wanted to get. Now people can die.
Yes, you can, because you can have a version of Marvel's heroes where this is like dark, like
Yeah.
multiverse darkness, where it's like like it's rated R. Like, hey, these versions are going to be a little more
Well,
darker.
the thing is, the character is going to be the same. The difference is what they're going to stem from, what story they're going to come from. So if we just took a part in your life and changed it, and it was tragic,
But I also feel like it could be a more violent universe too. Like
no facts.
they could live in an actually like a gloomier universe, you know, where
I mean,
like
we
darker
just-
stuff happens.
We just got done with Loki, where they were at the end of all time, where a giant monster murks everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like you can do whatever you wanted to do. If they wanted to do a universe where everyone was singing in musicals, they could, and no one would care. Call it Tony Stark's on Ice. No one would care.
hell yeah,
They're good. They're good.
I go to that shit.
Right?
So Ray, I know you were a fan of it. Do you feel like Loki ended well? Do you feel like was there? I'd love to hear you because yeah, you know, I had my complaints about the show. I thought, you know, the fight scenes again were absolutely horrendous. And yes, I know Loki's not a fighter. It has nothing to do with the realism of the fighting. It could have been it's just too cheesy. Anyway, what's your opinion? What do you think?
I think this is a very important, pivotal point in the whole MCU. I feel like you have to watch this to be able to understand and know where anything's going.
Right. I give you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Overall, at the time, I think I was very hyped on it because I just watched it. I had it high up on my list on my top 10. It's a little bit further down in my top 10 now, and I gave some time to think about it.
Is that because of the ending, like how the show ended? Because you were really backing it as a good show and how important it was. And
No. It's still my top 10, but the ending was, I think, I didn't expect there to be a season 2. Like I thought this was going to be.
It's official, right? There is a season 2, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty much official. In which that kind of just blew my mind, and I liked it. Just the whole Kane just letting himself just die, which is kind of, or the He Who Remains die. That just kind of leaves me curious on why he allowed that. But
Well, he said he's tired. He said he was tired. He was tired of this fight. And he wanted Loki to maintain it so there would be peace and the timeline could keep existing, but he gave him a choice. Right, his version of peace, which is better than, obviously, because he's not Kang. His other version, I saw a drawing of his different versions. Like in one version, he's like a half animals, half something, but in all of them, he's a bad Kang. In all of them, he's different shapes and forms.
He's him.
But in every single one, he a bad guy, right? And then I think Kang the Conqueror is like the most formidable of all his versions. Now, at the end, this statue that you see, right? Because obviously he passes away. The other version that you see at the end, the statue is the new Kang, right? Or Kang the Conqueror, the actual. But why is his helmet not on? Why does his face look normal? He cannot look like he does. It can't look the same. I need Kang to look like Kang. Like I'm not gonna play this human. Don't pass him as a human. He can't look like a human.
He is human.
What do you mean? He's got on this. Every time you see him in the comic, he's got on this goddamn.
So hold on. So, okay, you asked. Okay, remember, Kang is descendant. He's a descendant of the Fantastic Four. His name is Nathaniel Richards. He's Reed Richards' great, because he's in the future. So his costume and what he dressed like is going to be trash to us anyway. Because
so he's somebody from the future.
He's in the future, like from where we're at now, right? Where the MCU is at now. Okay. He's several lifetimes in the future, but we're meeting him at the end of his road. So don't think about the other versions.
Right. So him at that table is at the end of his road.
Right. So don't think about the other Kangs like other versions. Think about them as titles. When he says Kang the Conqueror, that's when all of them were Kang the Conqueror at some point. That is a title. So it's when he's in. So think about it like you're adolescent. So as you grow through the story.
Oh, at some point in your life, you're the conqueror.
So if you think about all the gods we've ever created, Greek gods, like Northern gods. So if you have Odin has a bunch of different character like titles because he was around for so long.
Odin's not Greek. Please don't put Odin.
That's why I said North. That's why I said North mythology.
I know Greek that's more like that guy over there who's sitting in a black room. You might as well not even be on this video, Troy. I can't have you all blacked out like that. This is ridiculous.
Anyway,
all right, so I gotta see some of your face. Come on. Turn one light on something. There you go. Let me see. I gotta see that pretty white fat cheeks of yours. Come on, let me see it.
Why you gotta call me fat, bro? You know
I said your cheeks. I said your cheeks. You look great. There you go. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So Kang is like. So imagine being around like for so long, you're tired of existing. This is why whenever we talk about
he said he was tired. He's like, I've been through so much. I've done it so many times. He was like, He's like, I'm just tired. I'm tired.
Think about how long it would take us to fight a war between planets. Right? He's not conquering planets. Like Thanos, it took Thanos forever to conquer his universe, right? And do what he wanted to do. Now we're talking about a infinite amount of other universes that he was conquering.
And they're all at war.
He's at war that entire time. So it's like, you're tired, man. He's tired. No, I get it. And again, the way he explained it was, you kill me, you create me. Because then you're going to start these wars in a version of me, which will be me.
Well, that's why he says, I'll see you back here in a second. When they kill him, he's like, I'll see you back here in a little bit.
Right. I'll see you again. And if you don't, I'm just going to ride out the rest of this.
Now, in some ways, it's a little confusing, okay? And not too confusing because I like, I like to consider myself somebody with an imagination and I can get down with shit. Like I watch Prometheus and I like every version of it and all the altered versions. And, I like to dissect things and break them down. So it's not like it's too much to understand, but I just feel like it could get a little annoying with it. Oh, well, it's this one and this one and this one and this one. And this one.
But it's also making learning fun because now you're teaching people how quantum physics works in an unassuming way. So I'm just saying.
No, I feel you. Makes people think a little more, right? Makes somebody like think outside the box. So Ray, you said it's still in your top 10. It did drop down a couple notches after you had some time to think about it. I think even if you go back and watch a couple episodes, again, I think all good actors done well. I just feel like it could have took itself a little bit more serious and it just didn't at times. And it bothered me, but it's fine. I'm just nitpicking here. It's still It was a fun show. I'm curious what the second season's going to be about, because if Kang, Troy, you do not have to put your hand up. You can just jump in.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Oh no, you good. I interrupt everybody all the time.
I just want, yeah. I just wanted to say on it that it was very well written for Loki, the character. Like, the thing about the series that I like the most is the number one thing is I believe Loki, the character. And yeah, we have the variants, but Loki, our main Loki, I believe him, right? I believe him the whole time. And, you know, it makes all the variants, and especially the alligator one. I thought that was kind of,
No, it was good. I was surprised when he bit the hand off the president Loki, the one that was running for president or whatever,
yeah,
because I thought that president Loki, the way it was presented, had a bigger role somehow, but he didn't. It was just like he was in there for a second and he lost a hand. You're out of there.
In his universe, yes, because he's president.
His universe, yeah.
But
and I just really enjoyed how they wrote the character and how the character fits, because sometimes you get shows where the characters just seem odd. Like, I'm sorry, I've never been a big fan of WandaVision because it just seemed odd to me, right? But this show from it clicked, and I was in. And I didn't have to wait on the next episode. I was in from the first episode, and it was because it was written well, and you believe that character, and you want to stick with the character. I actually never really liked Loki until now, right? And I like Loki now.
yeah, they
Loki,
gave him depth.
I kind of disagree with you. I think I liked Loki before more, because I feel like Loki before knew who he was, and now he's like a little more wishy-washy. Now he's crying, he's emotional. Hold on. And now we're growing to like him in a more endearing manner, where before I liked him as a mischievous bad guy. Now I like him as a hero almost. He's almost like the good guy. You're like, oh shit, Loki's, he's a good guy. Yeah, now he can be an Avenger. Okay. And I also feel like
Loki will never
WandaVision. Hold on, let me finish, and then you can jump in. WandaVision was a better show than Loki. Next.
Trash.
WandaVision was a better show.
Wow.
Next. It was.
If I can
emotionally,
hold
it was a better show.
If I can address my man Troy's issues, what I think that they are. Okay. Wanda doesn't have very much depth to her character. We didn't get to learn too much about her. It was always her and her brother, and they couldn't say that she's Magneto's daughter. Because remember, Wanda and Pietro are mutants.
Not in this Marvel universe.
I hear you, but that takes out all of her character. So all the reasons why
backstory takes a lot of backstory.
Who
Wanda
she is
the baddest bitch around. The House of M. The House of M. If you've ever read The House of M,
yes,
she's a bad bitch. She
still is a bad bitch. You see what she did in
everything.
WandaVision? She kicked open the multiverse, dog, over her love over a robot.
So in the House of M, she is substantially stronger. She rewrites
They say
reality.
she's like the strongest.
No, she turns off people's mutant powers.
Oh,
She gives them all the life that they thought they wanted. So and she just creates it out of thin air. And then Wolverine's the only one that recognizes that the reality isn't real and starts waking everyone up. So Spider-Man exists.
Vision.
Right.
God damn it.
She always has a psycho.
Wolverine, man, he's always doing his little short ass is always messing shit up.
I mean, he's built to do that though. What are you gonna do? He regenerates and he's a walking tank.
That's true.
What do you do?
Who technically should be like 5'6".
No, he's like 5'5", 5'4".
5'5".
Wolverine
right.
is short.
He's short.
He's a little bit.
He's a little guy.
Like a Wolverine.
He's supposed to be a little guy. Like that's the
right.
That was one of my biggest issues with Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
But Hugh Jackman is tremendously talented.
He did a great job. I'm not.
Yeah.
But when he first got it, That was my issue. I was like, this guy's like 6'3", y'all. Like, what are y'all doing?
Right.
He's supposed to go get somebody who's like 5'8". You know what I mean? Go get a Tom Hardy what's his name? Is it Tom Hardy? Venom.
The problem with
Yeah,
Hugh
yeah.
Jackman is I believed Hugh Jackman until he played like he did the movies like The Greatest Showman and shit like that.
Oh wait,
But-
well,
and
he's
it's
been a
a great
theater actor
movie.
his whole
Thank
life.
you.
Cuz
Thank you.
he's been
he's
doing
a
theater his whole
He
life.
sings. He sings. He does
know.
comedy. He could
But
dance.
to see him in that and then to see him in the Wolverine, it kind of
That's-
I know what you mean, though.
That's the best part. That he could show up in a leotard, twirl a couple of circles, and beat you like you stole something. You wouldn't be able to do
Absolutely.
nothing but like, man, that's Wolverine. Though.
Absolutely.
Like,
I like
it's just
I like that.
so much
I
more
like it.
disrespectful.
All right, so second season, I'm not sure where they're gonna go with it, but I obviously I'm looking forward to it.
It might just be a spot to plug in a bunch of information because Loki can now be anywhere essentially. So when they're making the next set of movies, he can just show up because he's supposed to be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness next.
Yeah, but I'd be
So-
surprised. I'm surprised if they give you. So I think they're gonna wait a while though, right? I think a couple movies are gonna drop and then they'll pick back up because. Are you just gonna go into this whole Kang thing and then give us
No,
Kang?
because that's
Like,
gonna be
I don't-
because that's gonna be in Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. Kang is the villain for that. So that'll be Quantumania. That's coming up.
Okay, so
Strange in the
that'll come out
Multiverse-
first, and then I think it'll pick up. The show will probably pick up after that.
Well, I don't know
Maybe?
when it's
Oh,
coming out or what
It's the
gonna be about.
multiverse. It doesn't matter. They
It
can
doesn't,
go back
like,
in time. They can go in the future. They can go wherever
Right.
you out.
They can just go to another dimension that's the same. So again, like it might just be the stuff that they write in the background to fill in all the loopholes, but who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? It might be Back to the Future and he's just going back and forth between dimensions. It's Rick and Morty, but Marvel. Who cares?
It is. It is. What's her name? Sylvia.
Sylvie.
What?
Sylvie.
Sylvie single-handedly destroyed the universe because she couldn't get over her issues.
No,
Like she could have had her other version of her male self.
but that's how she
been
wanted.
happy and shit, but instead,
That no,
for what? You killed him, and now what? Now you
You're-
ruined the whole
you're-
universe.
that was her point. None of the rest of it mattered. Everyone else thought she'd be happier. She didn't care. She was like, "Hey, you're gonna betray me?" Because when I say I'm gonna kill him, it doesn't matter. Like she's been thinking about this since she was a kid. She spent her entire life trying to track him down. And when she got there, you thought she was just gonna be like, "Oh, I'll let it ride." Now, should she have? For sure. But it would have been outside of her character. She was gonna murk him. Like it was gonna happen. That's why she was like, "No, you're not gonna beg."
Well, that's
He's like,
what
"No,
she
I'm
says.
not."
I'm not you. She says
Yeah.
when he says, I'm not
Yeah.
you.
And it broke Loki's heart. But Loki expected her to be him. And even though she was him, not the same character.
Well, that's back to my point. They made us like Loki to the point where Loki's in like loving now. He's like he was willing to do the right thing.
It's not that he was loving. He dug her. So it's not like
Bro, he
was
fell
doing
in
what
love
was-
with himself, bro.
Yeah. And a
Anti-hero.
lesson a lot of people need to learn.
This is
Yeah.
part of the story
'Cause
where
that's-
we get Loki's anti-hero.
Right. Because
Right. No, I
Loki's
get it. Right.
whole journey is about self-discovery, just like any great hero story is. It's about self-discovery, right? Simba couldn't have been the king unless he spent, all that time out with Timon and Pumbaa licking his wounds. So it's the story of discovery. And he hated himself. And the beginning of the movies, it was all just front. He was just fronting and he was mad and he didn't know how to express himself. And then he grew as a character. And then every other version of him that tried to grow, they cut from the timeline. That's why little kid Loki was like, every time a Loki tries to better themselves, we get cut from this timeline. So they kept him as a perpetual loser. I'd be crying too.
Somewhere they said kid Loki was actually the oldest Loki. They just caught him at a young age, and he's been there forever.
Mhm.
Oh, that makes sense because they said it was his realm.
Mm.
So, but then everybody else who worked at what's it called? The what?
TVA.
The
TVA.
TVA. Because when at the end when he approached them, nobody remembered him, right? Like everybody
Right.
was like back because killing him, like kick-started everything, like changed everything, or
Yeah.
I was just like, oh wait, okay. Well, we got it. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get this. But overall, I think overall, the Marvel's doing a good job. It was a good show, and I'm excited to see what's next. Do I think? I still think WandaVision overall, like, I enjoyed more. It had me more of an emotional roller coaster, and I also feel like I enjoyed WandaVision more because WandaVision was more of a. I like horror movies. And it had that creepiness to it, especially the first 3-4 episodes. It was very creepy. And like, I feel like that's why I enjoyed it more.
Very Twilight Zone.
Yes, very Twilight. Yes. Oh my God. Perfect example, because I love the Twilight show. It's a show because then it had that, that fucking
she's also just a stronger character too. And we respect power. Like we
do, and I'm over here dogging Loki the whole time. Like, you're a punk, you beat up left and right, can't fight.
I mean, but did you lie?
I did not. I didn't.
So Ruben, so you kind of flinched when I said she's probably the most powerful female in the Marvel universe.
Right.
Who would be more powerful than her?
Okay, so this would be. So if we're talking about right now and how they laid it out, not if we're talking about their comic strength. If you're talking about in the MCU, she was kind of made of the Mind Stone, and then you've got Captain Marvel, who was made of the Time Stone. So those two would be a good fight.
I was gonna go jump straight to Captain Marvel. I was gonna say that's the only person I could think could go toe to toe with her.
Right.
Would
again
I can't think of anybody else.
Right.
Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer would.
But he's more intergalactic. I feel like, I don't know, they're more like of the Earth. Kind of.
Well, Wanda can go whatever dimension she wants to now.
But
she can do whatever.
Can she go out of space?
She can warp reality.
But can she go to like out of space?
Yes.
Yes. When you warp reality, you can do like that's the high
whatever the fuck you want. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, warping reality is the Ferrari of superpowers.
Okay, well, if you ask me what superpower I have, that's the one I want.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what it is.
You're always asking that question.
Possibly the Phoenix.
Oh yeah,
I was gonna say the Phoenix.
Yeah,
I was gonna say what.
Why is it all females? I got an issue. What's going on here? What's going on here? What's it all females? But you got Galactus, who isn't you got some major.
We're just talking about females. Well, okay, so
no, we're talking about powerful characters, technically.
Well, if we're talking about she is one of the most powerful characters, but there's several men characters that are very powerful as well too.
I mean,
no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So about what's happening next? Because we were talking, we wanted to get into.
So are we gonna wrap up Loki?
Wait, what more do you want to say?
I mean, that's it, right? We're gonna say.
When he built Asgard, it was beautiful.
Is the Zoom almost over?
Yeah, it is. So we're gonna have to start a new one. So I wanted to finish the Loki thought and then pick it up. When we pick it up, it'll be all. So we'll go to Black Widow.
What are your final thoughts, Loki?
Final thoughts on Loki. I am interested on what season 2 has in store. But again, because I'm kind of curious on how, because obviously it's going to intertwine with the movies. So now I want to see how Marvel's going to intertwine this web, right? Like how is the next piece, this puzzle? I'm just looking forward to see how the puzzle is going to come together. And I'm curious for Kang because I don't feel like they're going to expose or show us too much on the show if you're using him in the motion, in the big box office motion picture films. So I am kind of curious of that. But overall, yeah, I thought it was cool. Could I live without it? Obviously, I can't because we need it. It's too important of a show. So it holds like. It has that level of importance. It has to be there. In my opinion, is my favorite up there with the show? No, not necessarily. No, I feel like it was a bit too cheesy for me.
It's a great plot device.
But yes, very much a necessity.
Yes.
Ray?
Yeah, kind of on the same consensus, but I mean, I liked it a little bit more than you. But it's man. Overall, I liked it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the character is believable. It made me a fan of a character that I really wasn't looking at before. So it gave him depth, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoy how they really I enjoyed how they explained things. So because a lot of times in these shows they leave us hanging and they do things that and they never fucking explain.
I'll give you that because Kang sat there for real, and broke it all down. All that they went there to know what it was. They wanted answers, and they got them. They got the answers. So I'll give you that. It did give you a satisfaction of completeness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I thought it was good and I liked the completeness. So I would give it 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Oh damn! Is that what we're doing? We're doing stars. Can we do Cruzy awards or Cruzy awards? Can we do Cruzies? How many
Sure.
Cruzies?
That's two.
Two Cruzies?
That's-
3
Cruising
Cruzies? 4,
awards?
5? Cruiser
You could
awards?
just do waves. You cruise over a wave. So is it 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, 5 to 5
Oh my
waves?
God, it's a wave. Yo, catch the. I like it, Ruben. How
Thank
many
you.
waves are we going to give it? You're going to give it
I give it 4.5 waves.
All right.
4.5? You're out of your mind. I'll give it 3 waves. I like this. We're going to keep this. Ray, how many waves?
4.6.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, Ray.
This is 4 point
I
shit.
see you.
Mr. Washington?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay.
It was good. It was
reasonable.
good.
It was good, but it
was-
had some
No, well,
holes.
the thing is, it was visually stunning, especially when old
Yeah.
Loki showed them what they really could do.
Oh, I
it was a-
loved that. That was one of the way he sacrificed himself and he was building the cities, and it was just the classic costume that he was. There were some really, really dope moments, and that was one of them.
if we're talking about art makes you feel something, right? Good, bad, whatever in between. And watching a character who figured out and had to admit that they don't really particularly care for themselves, and them to fall in love with themselves and have that version of themselves
And it be themselves.
Right.
At the same time. Like, what an ego. What a narcissist. You
no,
literally fell in
not
love
even-
with yourself.
Not even just the narcissism of it, to watch you push you away because you weren't worthy or enough to stop me from doing what I wanted to do, and you're mean.
Yeah,
It's heartbreaking, and you saw it on his face. So it was scenes like that, and the overall setup of it, I'll give you a 3.5 because I like it. It's good for what it is, and what it is getting us ready for the future of Marvel. So
Hold that thought. I'm going to send this link right now, guys. Please don't leave. I'm going to start this right over.